Learn to dress and ride in cold weather, and you don't have to winterize your motorcycle. All right, so how do you dress for cold weather? Now, I'm in Northern Virginia, so to me, it's cold weather, you know, in the low 40s, upper 30s. I've done a lot of rides in the low 30s and been quite comfortable. So I think last year, or 2022, going out to Daytona, it was 34 degrees, starting off, not warming into the 40s for the first couple hundred miles on there, so you have to learn how to dress for that. So first thing you really have to have is a good jacket. So I've got, this is by no way in any particular endorsement, I have a Harley-Davidson Vanacker jacket. They just came out with it last year. This is a very heavy-duty jacket with 6 vents to allow air to pass through it. This is actually a waterproof jacket. There's a waterproof lining between the leather and me, so it's capable of handling at least a bit of rain. I've done 1 rain test on it so far and was extremely happy with it. Really a big fan of high quality jackets. Doesn't have to be Harley. I love leathers. My friend Neil, and I'm going to throw a picture up here in a second over here. He loves the Klim brand. I love Klim. It's great brand, sort of a canvas off-road kind of style on there, also really good for motorcycles. In any case, you need something to stop the wind, and that it can be insulated to be able to hold the heat, you know, within you, and you need to be able to dress in layers. So that's your first pick. So I like the leather because when I get off the bike, it's just a leather jacket. Whereas some of the other brands are a little too motorcyclish, I guess, but that's just style at the end of the day. So you need a good jacket. You need something covering your legs. So I like chaps. I like the heavy leather chaps over heavy jeans. To me, that can take me down into about 40 degrees. And I keep mentioning these temperatures because if you're learning to ride for the first time in cold weather, you need to start making notes about where you feel comfortable with what gear. So when you get on the bike, you've got the right gear. You don't want to find out 60 miles away from home that you should have brought an extra sweatshirt. It's just not fun. And I was there. I've been there, yeah. It's amazingly, it took a long time for me to learn how to ride in the cold weather, even though there's all this information out there, but everybody's different. And lots of people don't, you know, cold weather is anything under 60, so they don't go out. So they don't need the heavier gear, so this video is not for you. I ride all season long. I rode Thursday. Today's Saturday. Went out Thursday for dinner. Just got on the bike and took off. It was about 38 degrees outside. Didn't bother me a bit. So I have, you know, different sets of gear for different temperatures. And so I just offer this as a suggestion to everybody as the way I do it. And you can mix and match whatever you like or whatever gear. And I'll tell you the reason why I do it. And then if you want to do it a different way, it's your bike. It's you and your bike. Do whatever you're comfortable with. My bike, if you haven't noticed on the videos, I have a Road King. It's a CVO 2014 Road King. And there's no fairing on it. It's a very short windshield. I have added some what they call wind scoops on the fork, which helps direct some of the air around me. But by and large, I am pretty exposed on the bike. So I will probably dress for colder weather than someone, say, on a street glide or a road glide. The Harley, you know, Limited, that's got all this protection in front and for the legs. You know, the BMW K1600s or the Honda Goldwings have a lot of protection where rain doesn't even hit you unless it's really coming down because you're well protected. So you might need less protection on there. So if you need a lot of protection, you know, my gear layout works pretty well. So I look at this as sort of the extreme. So you need to do layers. So the other thing you really need to have, now you can get by without it, and I know lots who do, is heated gear. Heated gear is a game changer for bikes. I use Gerbing. I did use a different brand earlier, but I switched over to Gerbing a few years ago and have been extremely happy with it. I'm not going to say it's the best. I think it's the best for me of the two I've tried, but the other one I had was kind of older too. So maybe everything gets better with upgrades. I've got a Gerbing heated vest or liner here. This is called a jacket liner. This goes underneath your jacket. This is, if you're going to buy one piece of gear after your jacket, this is what you need to buy. This heated gear has a pigtail here that plugs into the bike's battery system, and there's a bunch of controls. And the controls I keep in the pocket here, so I don't have to mess with them. But you can dial up the heat. So get a base layer. It could be a long sleeve T-shirt. You don't really need much more than that goes underneath the heated vest, the heated jacket liner. You put the jacket liner on a jacket, that can take me down to 40 degrees kind of easily. You want to go colder than that, I put a third layer on, sort of like a waffle shirt or something, or a sweatshirt, over top the inner liner and still underneath the heated jacket. This creates two different layers of pockets, and this thing will heat you up all the way to the wrists, just about, I think it stops about there, on it. But the idea is it's going to heat that air underneath the jacket. The jacket is keeping the air from coming into the jacket, and then you can ride comfortably. Now, one of the things I like about Gerbing is they have a remote for the jacket. So that's this little thing here. How easily can you lose this, right? So it's got two knobs, one for the top jacket liner and the other one's for heated pant liners and gloves. Everything plugs into the jacket. So you can take this, I put some Velcro on it and stick it on your bike or on your fairing or wherever. I don't have a fairing, so I don't have that option. So I made a little pig strap here, and I just do a loop on it. This was just an old Velcro strap. Stick that to it, and that hooks on my belt. And I can just reach down and I can turn the knobs. And that's how I control the heat as I go on there. So that's my setup. Now the advantage of having heated gear is that you don't have to carry a lot of extra tops and scarves and pieces in case it gets colder, because you have a dial, you can just sort of dial it up. And the heated gear works really, really well. So you can go down, I've ridden, I haven't ridden, say 300 or 400 miles in the 20s. I have done some riding in the 20s, and you just have to be careful that there's no leaks, air going up your sleeves or something like that can really dynamically change your outlook on life. And it's quite fine. So the other thing to wear, I do a full face helmet. My full face helmet seals up pretty well, and but it's still going to get cold. So I recommend a balaclava, something to go underneath it. Those come in various thicknesses. I actually have 3 different thicknesses of balaclava that I wear as the temperatures change, and it can cover everything up to including the mouth and just keep that open. Keeps the ears covered, and that's enough, I think, to keep a lot of the air inside the helmet pretty warm. I like the full face helmets. I think they're great for long rides and comfortable. Keeps the wind from beating you down a little bit, but certainly keeps you warm and keeps the rain off. I love half helmets too, so I'm not. I have some of those. I love those for the summertime on there. Long rides, particularly cold or wet, very, very hard to beat a full face helmet. So with a balaclava underneath it, and quite a lot of us have those, I'm good. I'm good into the 30s. I went out in the polar bear ride. I had a light balaclava under the helmet. I did not have the waffle shirt on. I just had a base layer, the heated jacket, and it was 35 degrees when I came back, and I was fine. Now the other thing you need, let's say I'll recommend, is heated gloves. I have heated grips on my bike. They work pretty well. When I get down into the 40s, my hands will get a little chilly, and that's just that they're only being heated on one side of the glove, and I don't really want to have the thick gloves. I'm going to use thick gloves. I might as well use my heated gloves. Those things are great. And the gloves plug into the jacket and are gauntlet, so they wrap around the outside of the jacket so no wind comes in. And you can see them in the polar bear ride video that I'm wearing them. And they're fantastic. That takes you down to about whatever you need to have on there. That takes care of the gloves. And then you've got your legs. Now, I've used to take some like long johns or tights, put them underneath the jeans. Then I've got tights, jeans, and the chaps, and that's pretty good. The problem with that for me is once you start getting warmer, if you go on these long rides like I do, you start off, it's really cold, and then it gets warmer. And the temperatures change 30, 40 degrees sometimes. You got to start changing gear. Now, that's what I like about the chaps. They're really easy to just peel off. You got tights underneath your jeans. It's a whole disrobing adventure in the Hardee's restroom. I don't go to Hardee's, but in some kind of restroom that's like a Hardee's. That's not. I don't look forward to it. So I use the heated pant liners, also made by Gerbing. The pant liners plug into the jacket, and they go underneath the chaps. So there's a little exposure to them because the chaps aren't completely around you, but it seems to really do the job. I have often thrown in a pair of tights just in case I needed that in addition to the pant liners. It has not happened yet. So it's been fine. I think that's all you really need. You get down to your feet. What about the feet? I have heavy leather boots on. I just use Timberland boots. They're generally waterproof unless something pours down the inside of it. And I have occasionally used the toe warmers. You can buy at Home Depot, those disposable ones. They stick on the bottom of your foot. That kind of warms up my whole foot for 8 hours, and then I'm fine. There are heated socks available. I don't use heated socks. If I can handle the low 30s without heated socks, I think I'm fine. And my feet are very, very exposed on the bike as we're riding out there. Now, I did discover something that was not fun, was the pocket warmers. Chaps do not completely cover you everywhere, and there's no heated gear around your waist area or butt or anything. So I had some pocket warmers I just put in my front pockets, and that worked well several times. The problem with pocket warmers, those disposable ones with the iron filings in them, they can get quite hot. And if you're sitting down, like on the motorcycle, and your jeans are stretched out against your upper thighs, and that pocket warmer has worked its way out so it's pressed tight against your leg, I've got a scar there now. It hurt. So I recommend these, which are really cheap, or something similar to them. These are electric pocket warmers. Batteries last about 8 hours. You can put them in your pocket. You can put them in your front pockets. You put your jacket pockets on. You got someone riding behind you who get cold hand. You can put them in your jacket pockets. They can stick their hand in their pockets, and everybody's happy. So you got that. These things charge up on a USB. They're inexpensive and easy to use, and I think this is where everyone's going with a lot of this stuff. So that's the trick to it. Learn that the cold weather is fine. The Balaclava goes underneath the jacket liner, and so there's no wind coming in anywhere around your helmet on there. Then you've got at least 2 layers, possibly 3 layers on the top, including the heated vest or heated jacket liner, and you're good. And then you get on the bike. Now it takes you. Now here's another thing. Plan for time. It's about 15 minutes to put on the heated gear. It's one of the disadvantages of it. You don't want to get on the heated gear and go out for a 20-minute ride. It's the lemon isn't worth the squeeze with that. So budget about 15 minutes. It's difficult to get, to put all the stuff together and get on and get comfortable with it. Getting the heated gloves on and over the jacket is a good 5 or 6 minutes. You've got to worry about, making sure you put your helmet on so you can latch it even with your big gloves on and get all your touchscreen stuff taken care of, because a lot of these heated gloves don't have the ability to do touchscreen, like if you're navigating with your phone or something. If you really need touchscreen with the thick gloves, there are some little tabs you can get on Amazon that stick to your fingers that allow like that one finger to use your phone as a touchscreen, so you can still do some navigation. I have a Garmin GPS navigator, so I've now moved on past that need. But that's the cold weather gear. And your bike likes to ride. Engines like to run. If you run your bike all the time, the water doesn't get condensed in the gas tank, which starts to rust. The oil still stays, the viscosity stays good. Things keep going. You'll find if you're starting up your bike once a week and riding it, even for 20 to 30 minutes, it starts up easier. It runs better. It likes it. your bike likes it. You don't need to winterize it. You just need to ride. Get on the bike and ride. Wanted to throw up a picture. This is Neil and I going down to Daytona Beach a couple of years ago, all dressed up for cold weather because it was cold. This was I think it was upper 30s, maybe lower 40s at this point here. We're down on I-77, either North Carolina, Virginia border near Roanoke there. That police car we're sitting on, that was Andy Griffith's police car in the Andy Griffith Show. So it's a little stop over there. That's what's fun about riding, is you can find these little iconic little places that you would never find and stop over. So you can see here, we are all geared up for weather. I think I've got my vest on with my resume patches kind of all over the place, but that doesn't really do anything for the cold weather. But we got the gear. We got the I got the heated pant liners on over the chaps, over the boots. I've got everything on the jacket. That's not the Vanacker jacket. That's an older hard leather jacket. That's still a good jacket on there. But it's a staunch kind of leather jacket. So that's what you need to have. And that's the gear up. You need to gear up. You kind of, you don't want to gear up so much with a lot of insulation that you feel like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and you can't grab the handlebars. Then you probably need to rethink your gear because you lose maneuverability if you're not comfortable, where you are. As you're riding, a couple of little tricks that I've learned. I like to go down in glove size when it gets into the mid 40s and take off the heated gloves, but I've got wind that shoots up my sleeves then because I don't have that big fairing on there. You can get some wrist guards like they use for tennis and put it around your wrist, in and around or atop the jacket. That'll keep all the wind from coming up your sleeves, which just helps out. You can get some ties, some Velcro ties or some big rubber bands, hold down the inside of your pant liner or your chaps on your legs. If you want to kick your legs up on the engine guards or highway pegs and enjoy that freedom, but don't want that air to shoot up your pants, then get some tie-offs on there. Keep those with the bike. Those are quite helpful on there. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the tips and tricks of riding in the cold weather. Remember, if you can ride, you don't need to winterize your bike.